In every field of scientific inquiry, there's a lot of concern about being at the cutting edge of science. That overlooks the fact that all science builds on the work of others, and the work of others, the baseline knowledge, theories, concepts, methods, and so on, are the base from which all scientific knowledge proceeds. The unique value of something like an encyclopedia is that it's a convenient and comprehensive reference work that gives people the baseline understanding of the various fields and sub-areas within those fields. Everybody needs an authoritative reference source that can be consulted and referred to, that gives reliable, refereed, curated, trustworthy and dependable knowledge about the state of the art, not just in one's own particular discipline, but in allied disciplines where other scholars are pursuing similar topics, but from different disciplinary backgrounds, different methodologies, different theoretical viewpoints. Well, this is the International Encyclopedia of the Social and Behavioral Sciences, so it covers virtually all of the human sciences, from cognitive neuropsychology on the one hand, all the way around to history, philosophy, and archaeology on the other, and pretty much everything in between. So we have entire sections on political science, sociology, motivational psychology, industrial and organizational psychology, and on through a very long list. There are approximately 70 separate sections, 4,000 total entries. There's practically nothing being discussed anywhere in the social and behavioral sciences around the globe that is not reflected somewhere in the content of the encyclopedia. So I think one of the great virtues is its comprehensiveness. Its multidisciplinarity, I think, is also a virtue, and then the internationalism that we've been able to achieve. We have content produced by the leading scholars at every discipline from every region of the globe, and I don't think there are many reference works of which that could be said. The content of the encyclopedia is vetted, refereed, and curated by the world's leading experts in the subject matter being discussed. That makes the information completely reliable, highly trustworthy. The content is vouched for by leading experts, not just the authors themselves, but by the editorial team that reviewed the work of authors, made suggestions for revisions, and so on. I led an editorial team of nearly 80 scholars from around the world. Somewhere on that editorial team was somebody who was the world's living expert in practically everything. And we followed their advice as to what needed to be included and what we could live without. A lot of thought went into the composition of the editorial team. We tried to get the world's leading scholars from Europe, from Africa, from Asia, as well as North America. The same is true of the authors of the entries. They do reflect an incredible international focus and orientation. Frankly, I think the unique academic value of the work is that when young researchers, graduate students, new professors need to cut into a new area of research, it provides them a place where they can go and find out what all the various disciplines have to say about the topic of interest. It's difficult to find that kind of cross-discipline, reliable, trustworthy, comprehensive knowledge in a single source, and the encyclopedia provides exactly that. In my role as editor-in-chief of the International Encyclopedia of the Social and Behavioral Sciences, I've gained an understanding of disciplinary literatures that I could only have imagined would exist 5 or 6 years ago. One of the things that most impresses me is the growing interface between the biological sciences on the one hand and the social and behavioral sciences on the other hand. And I think that's where a lot of the really interesting action is going to be in social science in the next decade. What we've come to realize, and this is reflected very much in the contents of our encyclopedia, is that nature versus nurture was the wrong question from the very beginning. That what we need to understand is how our biological inheritance interacts with social and cultural factors to produce individual and collective outcomes. And we are just at the front end of being able to understand that in all of its rich detail. There's no doubt in my mind that's where the interesting action is going to be in the social sciences for at least the next 10 years.